A very good morning to you. Objective Geology, multiple choice questions with answers. This is the solved question paper of BHU 2020 and I hope this solved question paper is useful for various competitive exams like CSIR, NET, GATE, GSI and other competitive exams. Welcome to set 3. Coming to the first question. The general geological range of articulate crinoids is A. The options are A. Ordovician to Permian, B. Ordovician to Carboniferous, and C. Ordovician to Triassic, and D. Triassic to Recent. So the correct option goes as B. General geological range of articulate crinoids is Ordovician to Carboniferous. B is the correct option. Next question. The concept of mutation in organic evolution was given by A. Lamar, B. Mendel, C. Darwin, and D. De Vries. The correct option is D. The concept of mutation in organic evolution, it was proposed by Hugo de Vries. He developed the mutation theory of evolution, which is based on his studies of the evening primrose. Next question. The sheet-like colony with the zooids on both sides of a bryozoan is known as A. Foliaceous, B. Dendroid, C. Fenestrate, and D. Encrusting. The sheet-like colony with the zooids on the both sides of a bryozoan is known as a foliaceous. So these colonies are also described as a sheet-like or leaf-like and grow upwards into the water column. Next question. The process wherein wall rocks are fractured and flounder into the magma is A. Deuteric, B. Zoning, C. X solution, and D. Stopping. So the correct option goes as a D. Stopping. This process where wall rocks fracture and fall into magma is called as a stopping, and this occurs when magma, being less dense than the surrounding rock, it rises and exerts pressure which will cause the wall rocks to failure or fracture and break off. So these pieces now they incorporate into the magma and these are called as a xenoliths. So the process wherein wall rocks are fractured and flounder into the magma is known as stopping. D is the correct option. Next question. The predominant feldspar in massive type anorthosites is A. Labradorite, B. Orthoclase, C. Albite, and D. Microcline. So the correct option is A. Labradorite. The predominant feldspar in massive type anorthosites is indeed labradorite. And anorthosite is a type of intrusive igneous rock which is characterized by high percentage of plagioclase feldspar, typically 90 to 100% with labradorite, which is being the most common variety. And other mafic minerals like pyroxene, magnetite, and ilmenite can also be present in minor amounts. So the predominant feldspar in massive type anorthosites is labradorite. A is the correct option. Next question. Which formation represents the best biostratigraphically resolved Cambrian strata in India? A. Hapatnar group, B. Parahio formation, C. Dogra slate, and D. Garbiang series. So the correct option is B. The Parahio formation in the Tithian Himalaya, specifically within the Parahio Valley in Spiti, represents the best biostratigraphically resolved Cambrian strata in India. This formation is well documented litho and biostratigraphically, providing a key reference for understanding the Cambrian period in the Indian subcontinent. Next question. In fluvial channels, imbricated gravels dip in A. Upcurrent direction, B. Downcurrent direction, and C. Floodplain direction, and D. Show no preferred dip. So the correct option goes as A. Upcurrent direction. In fluvial channels, imbricated gravels typically dip in the upstream or upcurrent direction. This means that the long axis of the gravel class are oriented at an angle with the downstream end resting lower than the upstream end. So this imbrication pattern, it is common in sedimentary structure in a gravelly river deposits and it provides a clue about the direction of past river flow. So in fluvial channels, imbricated gravels dip in upstream direction or upcurrent direction. Next question. Which one of the following rocks does not belong to the monomineralic ultramafic igneous rocks? A. Hornblendite, B. Pyroxene, C. Anorthosite, and D. Dunite. So obviously pyroxene is a mineral. So here which of the following rocks does not belong to the monomineralic ultramafic igneous rocks is B. B is the correct option. Next question. Calcite shows twinkling effect in plane polarized light while rotating the microscope stage because it has A. Very high refractive index, B. Very low birefringence, C. Moderate refractive index, and D. Very high birefringence. So obviously the correct option goes as a D, very high birefringence. Calcite exhibits a twinkling effect when viewed under plane polarized light and rotated on a microscope stage due to its birefringence or the property of having two different refractive indices. So this means that the light traveling through the calcite is split into two rays with different speeds and different directions, which leads to the observed changes in the brightness and contrast as the crystal is rotated. So the correct option is D, very high birefringence. Next question. The Himalayan fold mountain is characterized by A. Thrust and volcanism, B. Active faults and presence of volcanism, C. Active faults and no volcanism, and D. Neither faults nor volcanism. The Himalayan fold mountain belt, it is indeed characterized by thrust faults. These faults are a key feature of the Himalayan orogeny, a result of the ongoing collision between the Indian and Eurasian tectonic plates. And the collision, it has caused the crust to buckle and fold, creating the mountain range. And the thrust faults are the mechanism by which large blocks of rocks have been pushed over one another. So the Himalayan fold mountain is characterized by thrust and volcanism. A is the correct option. Next question. Which of the following is not a soft abrasive? A. Calcite, B. Garnet, C. Dolomite, and D. Magnesite. So the correct option goes as a B, garnet, because garnet is a hard abrasive. Garnet is actually a hard abrasive and it is not a soft one, and it has most hardness scale rating around 6.5 to 7.5, which is considered relatively high, making it suitable for abrasive applications like sand blasting and water jet cutting. So the correct option is B, garnet. Next question. The feature having a channel that has sea at one end and a river at the other end is called A. Strait, B. Intricate channels, and C. Estuary, and D. Lagoon. The correct option goes as estuary. C is the correct option. The feature described is indeed an estuary. An estuary is a coastal body of water where a river meets the sea and the fresh water from the river mixes with the salt water from the ocean. This mixing of fresh and salt water, it creates a brackish water condition. Estuaries are also characterized by tidal influence, where seawater flows in and out with the tides. So the correct option is C, estuary. Next question. Which temperature range indicates the oil window? A. 100 to 200 degrees centigrade, B. 40 to 100 degrees centigrade, C. 200 degrees centigrade, and D. 50 to 150 degrees centigrade. The correct option goes as 100 to 200 degrees centigrade. The most active and productive oil formation, it occurs within this zone, and temperature above this range, it favors the gas formation over oil. Next question. Tetragonal system is characterized by A. Center of symmetry, B. Plane of symmetry, and C. Axis of symmetry, and D. All of the three. Tetragonal system is characterized by center of symmetry, plane of symmetry, and axis of symmetry. That's why D is the correct option. Next question. The highest degree of symmetry in crystals is shown by minerals of, and the lowest degree of symmetry is shown by minerals of A. Cubic and triclinic system respectively, and B. Tetragonal and monoclinic system, C. Hexagonal system and monoclinic system, and D. Cubic system and monoclinic system. The correct option goes as A. Cubic system and triclinic system. The crystal system with the highest degree of symmetry is the cubic system, while the one with the lowest degree of symmetry is the triclinic system. So A is the correct option. Next question. Diatom microfossils are composed of A. Calcareous, B. Cutinous, C. Siliceous, and D. Phosphatic. The correct option goes as a C. Diatom microfossils are indeed composed of silica. Diatoms are a type of algae which have a cell wall made up of silica called a frustule. And this frustule, which is composed of two overlapping halves and is highly intricate and patterned with pores, ribs, and other features that can be used to identify different diatom species. So diatom microfossils are composed of siliceous. C is the correct option. Next question. Calcium carbonate deposition from cave ceilings forms A. Stylolites, B. Stalagmites, C. Stalactite, and D. Strath. So the correct option goes as C. Stalactite. Calcium carbonate deposition from cave ceilings form stalactites. These are icicle-shaped formations that hang down from the roof of a cave, and they are created when mineral-rich water it drips from the cave ceiling and the calcium carbonate precipitates out as the water evaporates. So calcium carbonate deposition from cave ceilings forms stalactites. C is the correct option. Next question. It most often forms from the high pressure alteration of clay minerals during the metamorphism of sedimentary rocks. The long crystals have a Mohs hardness of 4.5 to 5 if they are tested parallel to the length of the crystals, and a hardness of 6.5 to 7 if tested across the length of the crystals. Name the mineral. A. Kyanite, B. Titanite, C. Starolite, and D. Magnetite. So the correct option goes as A. Kyanite. Kyanite has a varying hardness. So that means parallel to the length of the crystals, its hardness is about 4.5, and if the mineral is tested across the length of the crystals, its hardness is 6.5 to 7. So the correct option is A. Kyanite. Next question. Crystal forms that do not have either plane or center of symmetry are known as A. Enantiomorphic form, B. Hemimorphic, and C. Hemimorphic form, and D. Tetrahedral form. So the correct option goes as A. Enantiomorphic form. Crystal forms which lack both a plane and a center of symmetry are classified as chiral. And these forms exhibit enantiomorphism, meaning that they have no superimposable mirror images. In simpler terms, they are asymmetrical and cannot be superimposed on their mirror reflection. Next question. Which of the following represents a Jurassic formation in Rajasthan? A. Parivar Formation, B. Habur Formation, C. Lathi Formation, and D. Baisakhi Formation. So the correct option goes as C. The Lathi Formation in Rajasthan is indeed a Jurassic formation. It is specifically known for its early to middle Jurassic deposits, particularly fluvial sandstones. The formation is found in Jaisalmer Basin, and this is characterized by a thick sequence of sandstone. So Lathi Formation, it represents a Jurassic formation in Rajasthan. C is the correct option. These are some of the suggested books. Hope you can take a photocopy or screenshot. Thank you for your time. See you in the next video.